when you run a business, is going to hit the fan, and it's going to hit the fan a lot, actually. Once you get to a certain point in business that things just like go easy from there, it's never easy, guys, just so you know. Sometimes you're good, sometimes hitting the fan. That's how it is, and that's also how life is.
We see this all the time. People blow up their businesses, literally like multi-six-figure businesses, because like they're super emotional. That is a really way to run a business.
Totally.
It's like emotional. And we've seen this countless times. People are like, I fired all my clients, I'm changing my program, I hate my business, it's the worst thing ever. And we're like, what's wrong? And all they needed to do was maybe just adjust the offering. Welcome to episode 66 of the Success School podcast. We're in our brand new setup. I don't know where to look. Do I look at the camera? Do I look at Steph? Do I look outside? Like, what is going on here? Steph, how are you feeling? Are we excited?
I feel famous.
Do you?
In this moment, I feel famous. I feel like you guys can't see this.
How hard was the setup?
I mean, I found it very taxing personally. I sat downstairs and replied to clients' comments in school, and Tim spent an hour setting up this studio. But right now we have literally 3 cameras on us, and these mics. It's a very pro setup. We used to have a lounge room in this space.
Yep.
Now we don't.
100%. Well, I'm going to have to reset up our lounge room after this filming session, which is going to be epic. But glad to be here. If you guys appreciate the setup, if you're on YouTube, go to YouTube now, actually, if you're not on YouTube. Click that subscribe button. Get us to 250. I think we're at 223. We would appreciate that. Steph, how are you feeling? Tell us about Gym Girlie. What's going on with Gym Girlie?
I have become a gym girly. So previously to...
About time.
Yeah, it is about time, considering I've been with the gymmest dude of all time.
Gymmest dude.
The gymmest dude for like 8 years. We have been going to the gym recently, which is not new. However, I've recently got onto TikTok. I'm a converted TikToker now, and my algorithm has just been gym stuff. And I've decided in this phase of my life to become, at 34, almost 35, to become a gym girly. So I'm currently just deep into gym fashion trends, gym workouts, mostly butt stuff.
Butt stuff.
Booty stuff.
What's butt stuff?
Booty workouts. But I do
Two
also...
different meanings for butt stuff. What's the meaning that you've got?
As in like cable kickbacks,
okay,
deadlifts, like stuff to grow the peach.
Cool.
So I've been deep down that rabbit hole lately. What's your TikTok algorithm got?
My TikTok algorithm has...
Actually, is it? Can we talk about it?
Guns, conspiracies, a lot of conspiracies around Hurricane Milton, a lot of conspiracies.
Mostly conspiracies.
Yeah,
and some dog stuff.
Bunkers, dog stuff. I saw a video this morning, a dolphin saved a dog, told the dog that his other dolphin was in trouble, and then the dog's owner went and saved the other dolphin. It was so cute.
What?
And then now the dolphin comes to shore every morning and sees the dog and the owner.
That's
and
cute.
they're like friends. I have to show you after.
That's cute. I cannot wait to see that.
All right, personal updates. Sorry, we're dogs and dolphins. New studios made me a bit cuckoo.
Can you go first?
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Personal update for me is that we've had I'm going to say a kind of a 4 months in business. And I'm going to tell you guys why.
Yeah.
Excuse the language, but we say C-bomb around here and now, the Frey House. We thought it would be really good to go and travel for 4 months straight, which in theory sounds incredible. And everyone's like, yeah, lifestyle looks good. You guys are in Egypt, Dubai, Germany, fucking everywhere, living the dream, caravan. But what they don't see is that it's very hard to be productive on the road because you're in 42 different time zones. You've got 27 minutes here. You're doing coaching calls there. You're on all sorts of... It's crazy. And then you've got internet disturbances and whatever. Massive first world problem, guys. We're complaining here. This is a first world problem. But it's been very tough to be productive. Therefore... we haven't been as growthy as we would like to. So we got back from Fiji, which was great. And then we've literally just put pedal to the metal. I sound like I'm 100, pedal to the metal.
Or AC/DC.
For the last 2 months. And it's been great. It's been really growthy. It's been really hard. We've just expanded our team. We've just hired a setter. We've got another DM closer. We've got a client success manager. The Success School team is up to 10 people, which is huge. And I thought it was just going to be you and me forever, but that's really changed in the last 2 months. But the lesson here, and Steph likes lessons, but growth is sometimes painful, but it's required to get where you want to go in life.
God.
So what's your
He
personal
sounds like
update?
a Hallmark card. So my personal update is actually going to be about you. This wasn't originally going to be my personal update, but I don't think the viewers and the listeners have experienced Tim Frey's new teeth.
No, neither have I. They're still buck.
The Emperor's new teeth.
They're still fucked.
What's been going on with that?
Yeah, I've got some teeth. Well, I have 7 less teeth, and I have braces. So I've actually been singing in the shower every day because that is how you get over a lisp. So as soon as I got my braces, I was saying the Success School podcast, episode 66, and it was like, the Successful podcast, episode 66. And Steph was like, you can't record like that.
He came upstairs and he was like, babe, like the day after he got braces, he was like, I've just tried to record a video saying the Success School podcast. And he said it, and I was like, oh my goodness, we actually, you have a full lisp.
Yeah.
So like braces have been a thing, but not a noticeable thing at all. Well, except aside from the lisp, but aside from the lisp, not a noticeable thing. So it's been really.
Casey got me in the gym this morning. She's like, "Oh my god, you have braces!" And I was like, fucking died inside. She screamed it in the gym so loud.
Yeah, but it's been cool. It's like,
what's the lesson?
Well, no lesson. Just look after your teeth, I guess.
Look after your teeth, boys and girls. So today, this might go a little bit into telling off territory. It might be a little bit having goes at people and telling you to get your shit together.
Know.
You don't think so?
I think it could be really inspiring.
Okay, could be inspiring. Steph's will be inspiring. Mine will be telling you off. So today we are talking about what to do when shit hits the fan.
Yeah, what to do when shit hits the fan. When you run a business, shit is going to hit the fan, and it's going to hit the fan a lot, actually. Because not just in business, I think that people kind of predict that, once you get to a certain point in business that things just like go easy from there. It's never easy, guys, just so you know. Sometimes you're good, sometimes shit's hitting the fan. That's how it is. And that's also how life is. It's not just about the stuff that's happening in business, but life as well. Like, there's always someone or something, someone's sick, someone had a car crash, your house got flooded, like stuff happens. Like it happens all the time. You run out of petrol, your son broke his arm, like your dog needs to go to the emergency vet, like stuff just happens. And the thing is that most people don't really have a plan or contingency or kind of prep in life, and especially in business, to actually manage themselves when shit hits the fan.
Let's talk about throwing grenades in business, because this is something.
That's where you want to take this.
Yeah, I want to take this as throwing grenades. We see this is very prevalent in our demographic. People throw grenades around in their business and cause havoc when they don't need to.
What does that mean?
So throwing grenades is like making problems when there aren't problems. So, we get this sometimes. People jump on calls and they're like, hey, this is a problem. And we're like, we don't think it's a problem. And they're making a problem out of a problem because maybe there aren't no problems. And sometimes people don't feel like they are doing anything if they're not solving problems, which is common in business. So why do you think people make problems in their business?
Oh, I actually wrote a really incredible Instagram post about this a couple of weeks ago, if I may say so myself.
Yeah.
But I have this a lot, you catch my grenades quite often, very, very fortunate. But, a couple of weeks ago, something personal came up for me, and I think the natural tendency when we feel out of control. So if something is making us feel out of control, we're feeling scared, we're feeling worried, then our natural tendency is to want to fix something. And so we go into almost like a control crisis. Like we want to control the crisis. And sometimes in my case, it was personal and I couldn't control the crisis. And so I decided that I must fix something in the business instead. And it wasn't a conscious awareness. This was something that was happening on a completely subconscious level. And so I started digging through the business, as you know, trying to micromanage and find problems to fix so that I could feel in control again. And I think we see a lot of entrepreneurs do that, where they kind of go, okay, it happens for 2 reasons. One, something's going on personally and they have a desire to fix that. Something's going on in business. And, one of our clients recently was just having too much success too quickly and started trying to find problems because she almost felt unsafe to earn this new level of income, because what if it all disappeared? What if it all went away? And so I think that it can come in 2 forms. It can come in one, when shit hits the fan, we can kind of go and create problems in our business. And 2, I think a form of self-sabotage to almost create those problems when things are going too well.
How would you recognize that this is coming up for you? How would you see that happening in your day-to-day in the business? How would you be like, oh shit, maybe I'm making this harder than it has to be, or I'm creating problems?
I don't think you can.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
You just have to go through it.
I think you need to talk to somebody about it. And I'm not going to say her name because I don't, but we have one of our clients.
Her name.
I'm just going to call her B today.
Yeah.
And she came on one of the calls on Success School, and she was like, I think that I may be making a problem, and I think that this might be mindset, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Here's my data. Here's what's happening. Here's where it's at. And it was super easy for me as an impartial, non-emotional, not emotionally invested person to be able to give her the advice and say, babe, you're sabotaging because you're reaching a new level of success. I think having that external person, and not saying it necessarily has to be a business coach, doesn't necessarily has to be us, although we do this all the time. I think you can't always be in so much awareness of your own stuff. But yeah, I think like whenever I got a piece of advice recently from a good friend who said, whenever I'm feeling something kind of out of, I'm not going to say alignment, but it feels like it's yuck in my body, like a negative emotion, to kind of go, one, a pattern interrupt. So she said to go, curious, like to put my hand on my chin and go, curious. And then to go, why is this feeling occurring? Because it's not just like, I think sometimes we think, oh, I'm having this feeling, something must be wrong. Like we create meaning from it as if it's to be true versus just kind of going like, oh, curious. Like where am I creating meaning from this rather than actually thinking that? Well, I don't know. What would you do?
Yeah.
I feel like you are super logical and not as emotional. So
yeah, I kind of just ask myself, I'm like, is this really a problem? Is there going to be a negative effect on my business? Maybe I should wait 48 hours and reassess and write this down. And then I kind of like put my feelings on paper. I'm a big advocate, and I know this is easy to say. I'm up in my tower saying this is super easy to do, but I like to run business unemotionally and more on the data. And the reason I bring this up and I wanted to like hammer this point home was like we see this all the time. People blow up their businesses, literally like multi-six-figure businesses because like they're super emotional. And it's like that is a really shitty way to run a business. It's like emotional. And we've seen this countless times. People are like, I fired all my clients. I'm changing my program. I fucking hate my business. It's the worst thing ever. And we're like, what's wrong? And all they needed to do was maybe just adjust the offering. And they could have been spared. Like you didn't have to blow up a six-figure business just because you were being super emotional about it. I think the number one thing that kills most business growth and when shit hits the fan is you internally. So when you become more solid in your mindset, in your health, in your fitness, in your wealth, in your relationships, in all the things, you can grow the business of your dreams. If you don't have those pillars dialed in, you're probably never going to grow the business of your dreams.
Let's talk about overwhelmed. Because I'm a firm believer that overwhelm is just emotion, actually. Because I just don't think you could ever be doing that much that you would have too much tasks on your plate. Like, there's a lot to do. But realistically, if you're logical about it, you can see which ones need to be prioritized now and which ones you could do tomorrow. Like, I think that's very obvious. Because I think that this is where it starts, right? Are they feeling overwhelmed in business and life? Something's not working. They try and fix it. They should probably add more to their plate trying to fix a problem that probably didn't even need fixing in the first place. And then it just kind of starts to spiral from there. They have extreme burnout. They start to realize it's not worth it. All these things kind of come from this original point of being overwhelmed. So what would your process be if you were feeling a little overwhelmed? Because I do know that you feel that from time to time, of course, like you're human. So what's your process for that?
I feel like you can't get overwhelmed if you're writing stuff down and you're logically going through it and being like, cool, what do I actually need to take myself forward here? And then ticking or crossing stuff down or ordering it 1 to 10. So the process here is like, write everything down that you need to do that's overwhelming you and then go through it and say, do I need to do this? Yes, no. Is this moving the needle in my business? Yes, no. Then you're going to get it down to a list of, say you start with 20 things and it goes to 5 and then you want to order the 5 from most important to least important and then go and execute those. I feel like we just have so much nonsense in our head every single time that we get overwhelmed that we actually just need to prioritize the things that are going to move the needle in the business. I think that's the process that I think most people should use. When you get overwhelmed, I tell you to do that. I'm like, babe, write it down. Come back to me in 20 minutes. You come back to me like, it's actually not that bad. Like, talk me through it from your perspective.
Two things.
What does it feel like?
So 2 things. I get overwhelmed a lot, guys, just so you know, like, and I can't sit here on my high tower and pretend like I don't. I would say I get overwhelmed a lot less now than I did in the first couple of years of business. I would say it's probably like once every few months now. And most of the time it's because we're holding so much in our head. So I'm going to speak to it to two instances. So the first one is emotional. You are overwhelmed because you're creating meaning from something. So for example, I only get overwhelmed if I'm creating a pressure on myself because I feel like I'm not where I should be. It always comes from that for me. Like I feel like, I see someone else doing really well, or if I watch a training or a webinar or something, I'll be like, we need to fix all this stuff in our business right now. And I get really panicked because I create a meaning or an urgency from it. Like, oh, I'm so far behind, or, I need to be further along, or whatever that is. So whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, the first thing I check in on is what's driving this emotion, because overwhelmed is the emotion. It's like saying I'm sad. It's like saying I'm stressed. It's an emotion. And so what's driving the emotion? And usually it's some sort of fear, urgency, doubt, whatever. The minute I fix that and I'm aware of that, then I can change that, right? The second thing is to write a damn list. Like, especially as women, I think we do hold so much in our minds, like from what will people think, people pleasing, emotions. You know, I've got to cook dinner tonight. I've got to go to the grocery store. Like you got like other things that you're kind of holding. Not to say that men don't, of course they do, but on top of that, we are highly emotional by nature, and so I do think that we hold a lot more in our heads. And by just getting it down on paper, you just go, okay, I'm not going to forget that. I can now see it really logically.
Yep.
So that massively helps.
100%. Let's do a bit of a case study. We're going to take this on a little bit of a tangent. I'm going to pretend to be someone, and you can give me a diagnosis. I'm going to basically outline someone that we probably know and is very common in the entrepreneurship world. So let's call her Jenny. We don't have anyone in our network called Jenny.
We don't.
She's 35. She's got a 2-year-old kid. Relationship with her husband isn't the best at the moment. There's a little bit of argument. He's putting some pressure on about money. She's not getting leads and sales like she knows she should be. She's not working out. She's not taking care of herself. She's sleeping 5 hours a night. She's working at 10 p.m. What would you kind of fix first? And like, what would be your priorities here? Because we've all been in a version of this situation at some point in our life. Like, what do you think is most important? Is it health? Is it sleep? Is it getting the relationship right? Like, what would you kind of say here?
Yeah, totally. And I know that the easiest thing to do in this situation is to prioritize the business.
Yeah.
But if you actually just prioritize the health is the first thing. Like, 100%, just get some sleep. Like, everything is easier when you just have a good sleep. Like, I run on pretty high sleep quotas. And if I don't get enough sleep, I definitely feel it. And I'm just more emotional, more reactive, those sorts of things. Like, also you'll operate so much better and clearer just with some good sleep, with enough water, with just like changing your diet. You'll feel more positive in yourself. You'll be more inspired to take more action in your business and in your life. You'll get better results because you feel more confident. Yeah, like health first, 100%.
Health number one,
Like number one.
Then maybe working out?
Yeah, like just move.
Yeah, moving.
Move. Like, we have an incredible case study that we just did. We had this beautiful girl called Jess who was in our program, and she got on one of the calls with Tim, and Tim was like, if your life is a mess, you will carry that into your business. There's no two ways about it. Like, that's the only way that it will go. And she was like, damn, my life is a mess. Like, I haven't been prioritizing myself. I haven't been prioritizing my health since I had my kids. And she was like, first things first, I need to do that. Like, she only had a couple of hours a day to work, but she prioritized health first. Over the course of 6 months, I think she lost 30 kilos and felt more confident. And because she felt more confident, she took more action in her business. Because she felt more proud of herself, she was able to show up more online. Because she did all of those things, she ended up going from I think it was like 8K or something a month. 5K months to 30K months. And it started with health. Like, 100%. It really does, guys. Like, looking after yourself, the confidence, the power. Like, we've just started lifting heavy again. Like, the power you feel. Like, it's just, you can't supplement that anywhere with anything else.
100%. So let's get a bit action-oriented and tactical, and we're going to talk about boundaries. I think boundaries is something you've struggled with a little bit, so I think it would be cool to hear it from your perspective. How would you separate, like, business and life? And like, any practical recommendations that you would have or you would give our listeners on setting boundaries and not getting, I guess, so caught up in work 24/7?
Yeah. This is a problem for me sometimes. So, like, I can if I ever feel like, I don't know how to describe this feeling, maybe you'll have a word for it, but like, if I ever feel like I'm like smashing away at my computer and I'm like,
it's like
I'm frustrated and I'm like desperate and I'm like, ugh, like, that's when I know it's time for me to I need to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I need to do. I actually need to.
Don't say it too loud.
It feels, the dogs might hear it.
They'll hear it, yeah.
But if a WALK. And if I'm feeling that way, Tim will often just say, hey babe, should we go for a drive and get a juice?
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to do is get a juice. Because I'm solving the world's problems on this laptop right now.
Yeah.
But realistically,
you're not.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just so wired. My nervous system usually by that point is just so wired that it's like, it feels almost dangerous or counterintuitive to stop. And that's exactly when you should stop. So if you're ever just like smashing away at your computer and you can feel it in your chest and you can feel that level of like, almost like aggression towards what you're doing, like, it's just time to get out for a walk and take a break and go get a juice and chill the fuck out. And remember that, like, life is so much more than business.
Yeah.
Life is so much more. What about you?
Yeah, I think probably tactically here, and I know parents are going to fucking freak out and come at me through the audio or the video here. We kind of set up a bit of a day structure. I know this might not be possible for you with your situation right now, but like, some sort of structure is good. We go to bed at 8:30, we get up at 5:30, we go to the gym, then we do school to get back to our clients, then we kind of work, we switch off at 4, walk the dogs from 4 to 5, dinner from 5, and then we have like a bit of a structure and routine, which I think is great. And after 5, it's kind of like no work, chat, no phone time type thing.
I'm going to take the heat here.
Yeah.
For parents.
Yeah, take it.
We've coached mostly parents.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now that like the ones who have success, just they find a way to make a structure.
They do it, yeah.
They do it. Like, and I don't.
You're going to get heat.
I know. I'm sorry. Wait till I'm a mother. Yep, I get it. But the thing is that like, I've literally coached like probably 550 mothers, working parents with children from 2 months through to, we've got women in our program who have 5 children at home under their roof. Like, we've seen it all. We've seen mums with 2 hours a day to work. We've seen mums with children at home all the time, full time, do it.
Yep.
There is a way. It might mean that your capacity is reduced, but there is a way. Like, it's getting done every single day by women all the time. So you maybe haven't found it yet, and that's cool, but definitely trying to create some structure will allow you more freedom.
Yeah, for sure. So let's finish up with kind of top 3 ways to stop yourself from losing your shit, which stops you from growing your business, which stops you from making an impact, which makes you a worse parent, lover, husband, insert whatever it is. I'll go first.
Yes.
So my top 3 ways is, first would be just prioritize your health as number 1. I know it's easier said than done, but I do think the health should be a priority. Number 2, for me, would be relationships. I think having a strong relationship with the person that you're around will stop you from losing shit, and also will give you the foundations to be successful. I think that is such a key pillar, is like having a strong relationship. If those 2 things are out, I think you're going to have a very hard time being successful in business. Yeah. So they're my top 2. And then the third one, stop yourself from losing your shit, is like really fucking simple, is like lists, to-do lists, priority lists, like having a structure in your week. All that type of stuff helps so much, because if you're hitting like your 3 power list items every single day, or the 3 most important things to move the needle in your business, you are going to be successful. If you're working out, you've got good relationships, you're hitting your power list items, you've got structures in your day, there is no way you aren't successful. Everyone says like, well, they do say like, it is really hard to be successful. I disagree. I think you just need to have structure with what you do. Like, is there anything I missed there that you want to kind of add to those?
I do want to add some stuff. I want to add, if you're feeling overwhelmed, check in on the emotion. Like, where are you putting pressure on yourself? Because overwhelm always comes from pressure. It 100%. It's like, and the second thing is, I think just be honest with yourself about the situation you're currently in. Like, I always tell our clients, the bike, the car, the plane. And it's like, if you are a mum at home and you have 3 kids under 3 and you have 1.5 hours a day to work, like, that's okay, but you're probably not going to go as fast as somebody who's got no kids, who's working 50 hours a week on their business. So don't like compare your journey, but all journeys get to the same destination eventually. You just might be on a slightly different timeline.
Yep.
And the minute that you accept that, the easier it is to just do work, because we create all of the pressure that you are putting on yourself is self-created from, comparing yourself to other people, or, looking at things online and being like, why aren't I there yet? Or urgency or scarcity or fear or doubt or any of these things. So if you can just address that first, drop the freaking pressure you're putting on yourself, and then just hit the list, it's super easy. Yeah. It actually is super easy.
100%. Yeah, I agree. So we've got a few minutes left, guys. I just want to touch on a topic here. We have just released tickets for our Thailand retreat. Okay, so we're going to Phuket.
But like the nice side of Phuket.
Like not the
it's like
shit side.
It's a 5-star hotel. It's super nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. So we have our retreat. We have 100 spots available. We've sold about 40%. This is at the time of recording, so probably by the time you guys are listening to this, more. If you're in Success School, it's a no-brainer. Get there. If you're not in Success,
free.
Yeah, it's free. If you're not in Success School, honestly, like, it is such a no-brainer just to be in the community, just to come to these retreats, which is included in the membership. Like, if you want to grow your business, network with people who are crushing it, network with people who are up and coming, literally get all your problems solved that are immediate and apparent to you in business right now. You're probably going to come in with things you think you want to work on, and you're going to leave with completely other stuff that you're going to work on. But honestly, it's amazing. I think it's our best product that we have in Success School. I think it's just worth like crazy amounts of money. So if you want some more information on that, send us a DM on Instagram. Either of our accounts will walk you through what that looks like. If you're in Success School, fucking get there. Like, it's the best. Like,
last time there was just under 70 people in the room, and between the 70 people, and not every single person was doing it at the time, but we made like over $350,000 in like the first 3 days of being at the retreat, like in the room. So like, it is a money making thing. Like, every single person that came home was lit the heck up. Like, you can't replicate that anywhere. Like, so getting into the room is so important.
don't be that person that says like next time either. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Like, we're thinking about having kids. It might not be on. It might not work with a family. Like, don't be that person that's, I'm going to go to their one in a couple of years or whenever it is. There might not be a couple of years. Who knows what's going on? Like, make hay while the sun is shining at the moment. So if you guys are watching this, don't forget to subscribe. We're on a big push. We want to get to a 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and Spotify, which would be incredible. So if you're listening to this, you got some value from the show, hit that subscribe button.
We'll see you guys next week. Please subscribe. Please share the show.
Thanks, guys.